ओम ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निधि नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानंदप्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानवापते नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we are discussing from chapter 2 and verse number 62. 62. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसां सङ्गस्ते सुपजायते संगात संजायते काम कामात् क्रोधो विजायते. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger arises. Dhyayato vishayan pumsah. Dhyayato, we discussed regarding this. And dhyayato vishayan. How does this contemplation for sense objects trigger? Or we can say, why does the contemplation upon sense objects trigger? How does? Why it happens? Yesterday we discussed this. Yes, can any one of you tell us why does it happen? What did you understand yesterday? Yes, who will tell? Okay. So this contemplation upon sense object arises in the heart of a person who neglects to follow the instruction of Lord Krishna in the previous verse, in which Lord Krishna said, Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashe yasindriyani tasya pragya pratisthita. So Lord Krishna told that restraining senses from uh, activities of sense enjoyment, one should engage all these senses in my service. Matpara yukta asit means and in my service. We discuss in great detail these verses. Savai Manaha Krishna Padara Vindev Vacham Sivai Kunta Gunani. So one who engages, one who follows the instructions of the Supreme Lord and engages all his senses in his service, only he can become free from unnecessary nonsense contemplation upon objects of sense gratification. But one who doesn't follow, one who neglects to follow this instruction, this verse of Bhagavad Gita, Yukta Sitamattvara, then immediately Lord Krishna says in the next verse that then dhyayato vishayan pumsa, that contemplation or meditation upon the objects of sense gratification will occur. And as soon as, and the result of such meditation or dhyana uh, is sangas te supajayate, attachment for them will develop. Attachment, sangas te supajayate. Tesu means in the sense objects. So this attachment develops in sense objects because ultimately everyone, one who is averse to the service of the Supreme Lord, he is sure to contemplate upon his own sense enjoyment. और उसको नाम अलग अलग कुछ भी दे दे कोई व्यक्ति, सेल्फलेस सर्विस, प्योर लव, और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, ड्यूटीज, अलग अलग नाम से जाना जाता है, बट ये होता क्या है, एक ही वस्तु है ये। One who is not engaging in selfless service to Krishna, so he must then meditate or contemplate upon objects of sense gratification for the purpose of fulfilling his own sense enjoyment. And the result will be he will automatically develop attachment for those sense objects. So, teshu upajayate. Teshu means in the sense objects. Upajayate develops. Because contemplation is for the purpose. Dhyayato vishayan. Dhyayato means contemplation. This contemplation on sense object is for the purpose of personal sense enjoyment. So the attachment which will be developed because of such contemplation, so attachment will be developed upon sense objects, not because of anything else, but for the purpose of sense enjoyment. It's clear, no? Just like a person who is very much eager to have good facility, a lot of facilities for his sense gratification, for comfort. So automatically he will start contemplating upon how to earn more and more money. He will contemplate like this. So, so this contemplation will lead attachment for those activities which can help the person to earn more and more money. So the attachment for those activities is not out of any love or any sense of responsibility or duty, but that attachment is generated because of the desire to accumulate more and more wealth. And why this desire to accumulate more and more wealth is there? Because the person desires to have lot of great facility to enjoy sense gratification. So ultimately, घूम फिर के इधर ही आता है. For personal sense enjoyment, the person starts contemplating upon how one can achieve those personal sense enjoyment. And in the process of contemplation, he develops some certain attachments for those objects from where he can fulfill his desire. But because of illusion, Maya, or because of cheating propensity, he um, labels he labels such attachment for those objects or those activities as service, as duty, as responsibility, or as so-called love in this material world. Love, uh, true love, ये नाम से जाना जाता है. But any intelligent person who has understood even a fraction of Bhagavad Gita can very nicely understand. This is all because of the deep-rooted desire for personal sense enjoyment. Any person whose heart is free from desires for sense enjoyment, he will never ever develop any attachment for any object of this material world. Any object includes uh, all the things: object, person, situation, place, position, everything. So he will never ever develop, and he will start searching after the true object of his service and love and devotion, and he will finally come across devotee association, and he will immediately surrender his life to Krishna. That is for sure. There is no doubt about it. There are many devotees like this who were somehow other, because they didn't get association of devotees in the beginning of their life, so they were engaged materially somewhere. Some were doing studying, some were doing certain job, or were engaged in different ways. But because within their heart they understood this flickering nature of this material pleasure, sense enjoyment, and they understood this is of no use. So they were just searching after the true object of their love, devotion, and service. And that's why, as soon as they came across devotee association, and as soon as they heard from devotees that Lord Krishna is the ultimate object of our all all our devotion, service, love, and affection and attachment, then immediately it did not. They immediately then decided that we should mold our life in such a way that we can render more and more service to Krishna. So dhyayato Vishyan, this indicates that one meditates and contemplates upon sense objects for the purpose of sense enjoyment and nothing else. This point should be means clear. If one can understand this, then he will never ever get entangled, because then one will understand, if I go on meditating upon objects of senses for the fulfillment of my deep rooted desire of sense enjoyment, then I will develop unnecessary attachment for those objects that will lead frustration and miserable situation in my life. Because न्यायतो विषयान पुंसा sangas tesu pujayate. Sangas means attachment upon those objects will be generated. And from sangha means attachment. Sangat means from sangha, from attachment. Sanjayate kama. Kama means lust. From such attachment, desire or kama or lust is generated. And kamat krodho vijayate. And from kama, krodha becomes manifest. Because kama is lust. Lust is compared um, to a fire, blazing fire, and this work of trying to satisfy this kama lust is compared to pouring ghee or fuel upon that blazing fire. So what will be the result? The fire will increase more and more and more. Uh, Eventually, the point will come that there is no more fuel. Fuel is finished. One cannot satisfy it further. Uh, so then, the krodha means anger, frustration is generated. So the only result of kama is frustration. That's why kama, krodha, Lord Krishna also says, kama, krodha, tatha, lobhas. These three things, lust, anger, and greed, are a state highway towards hell. Lust, anger, greed. From lust, anger must come. Anger or frustration or these miseries must generate. Uh, if one fulfills kama, then more kama, more lust. And eventually he will come to the state of being unable to fulfill kama. Then automatically krodha will generate. If you just deeply observe in our surroundings, you observe those people who are above 70, 75 years, or maybe 60, 65 years old. So why those who are old person, more than 65, 70, 80, why they, most of the time they are just, means anxious. Most of the time they are just frustrated. Why? What is the reason? Krishna is explaining the reason here. Because kamat krodho vijayate. Because the person, when he is young, he is able to do lot of work, earn money, enjoy sense gratification, because physically also is quite fit and fine. He can work, run for earning more and more money, earning name and fame, and using all those paraphernalia facilities, he can enjoy sense gratification. So the more he goes on enjoying, the more lust or karma increases, and finally, when he touches this old age, then senses are no more powerful, active. Then he is unable to fulfill his the increased amount of lust, because he cannot fulfill. That's why the frustration generates. Understand? This is the reason why anxiety. Chanak Pandit also says this. Balyavastha krida sakta, tarunavastha taruni sakta, and vriddhavastha chintamani. He is always fearful, anxious, chintamagna. Chintamagna means the krodha. Krodha here refers to anger, frustration, miseries, anxiety, depression, distress, and degree is so much that he cannot even sleep at night. This is the situation, uh, and because he's unable to do it and unable to fulfill his material lust in various forms, because of being unable to do it, because of his physically weak, facilities is not so active. So, in such a disparate condition, when he leaves the body, so all these desires, material desires, come together and captures his heart like anything, and then he must take birth again to fulfill all those material desires. So this is known as continuation of birth and death. Huh. This is the science. Lord Krishna is explaining the science. Kamat Krodho Vijayate signifies this. Whereas exactly opposite happens in the case of a devotee. A devotee who is practicing austerities, who is practicing Krishna consciousness, chanting very nicely. So gradually he gets rid of all kama, lust, material desires from his heart. So as he grows old, instead of becoming krodhi, frustrated, angry, miserable, depressed, distressed, anxious, fearful, exactly opposite happens. A devotee, as he grows older and older in bhakti, he becomes fearless, no more anxiety, cheerful, happy, blissful, no anger, no frustration. He develops great desire, love for Krishna, great love and desire to serve Krishna. And in this way, the more closer he comes, means near to death, he becomes more happy that now I am going to join Lord Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, in Vaikuntha. So he is very happy. He is not at all frustrated. If at all some frustration is there within the heart of a devotee in in old age, so that is because of inability, of physical inability, he is unable to serve Krishna. So that also creates a frustration within his heart, but that is positive frustration. That is not the frustration like this out of lust, out of material desires. So this verse can be positively applied in case of devotees also. Here, Lord Krishna is explaining in case of materialistic person, dhyayato vishayan pumsa, because the materialistic person, they meditates or contemplates upon objects of sense gratification. But whereas a devotee's meditation or contemplation is for Krishna, for service to Krishna. So instead of dhyayato vishayan pumsa, for devotee, dhyayato krishnan pumsa. Instead of vishayan, vishayan means objects of senses. For a devotee, it is for Krishna. So dhyayato Krishna pumsa. So sangas te supajayate. Sangas means attachment for Krishna will generate. And such attachment for Krishna eventually leads towards, instead of kama, it leads to prema. Sangat sanjayate prema. Prema. Instead of krodho abhijayate. Instead of krodha. So this prema leads towards great ecstatic symptoms which manifest within his body and mind. So externally, which appears like the frustration only in the wood's life also. We have seen some of our uh, great Prabhupada disciples in their old age. Uh, they used to become sometimes very frustrated. Why? Because they want to serve Krishna 24 by 7, but body is not allowing. Uh, they want to get up early in the morning, and go to Mangala Aarti and worship. But because body is old, uh, so body doesn't allow. But still, even if they become frustrated because of body, still they just run after the Lord. So that is out of intense love. Complete difference, completely different scenario than materialistic person. So in this way, we should open our eyes and most importantly, intelligence also. We should open our intelligence and eyes and see around us. Those who are materialistic person, what is their fate when they become old? And those who are devotees, those who surrender to Krishna fully and give up all material desires and follow strictly for reality principle. So when they grow old and old and old, so what is their fate? It's complete difference. Uh, so in this way, this was Lord Krishna. Anyway, Lord Krishna is explaining regarding how a materialistic person, when he contemplates or meditates upon objects of senses, she develops attachment for those objects or those persons from where this desire for sense enjoyment can be fulfilled. And such attachment only leads towards more material desires and lust, and which eventually puts one into frustration. Because if somebody develops attachment for any object or any person with expectation of getting sense enjoyment, so end result is only krodha, frustration. Because of this attachment, if one is able to get that object or person, so one will start getting sense enjoyment, and the result will be the more one enjoys in the company of that particular object or person, the more material desire or material lust increases. But after a certain point, the limitation will come, uh, and there will be no more satisfaction. Then the person will hanker elsewhere to fulfill his this karma, this material lust more, because it increases more and more. But eventually, nothing can satisfy because the nature of this material lust is it has it may have a beginning, but it has no end. Uh, but nature of sense object is it has beginning or it has an end also, and instead of increasing, it only decreases. Just like the desire to enjoy very palatable dish is very much. The more one eats, the more one wants to eat more and more. But the limitation is there. Pocket is limited, and even if pocket is unlimited, this stomach is limited. What can be done? Even if some a person, he may have many millions and trillions of dollars, but he cannot enjoy unlimitedly. So that is another frustration. Those who want a lot of money and those who have big fan following become big celebrity. So they also have another kind of frustration. What is that? We have the frustration because we don't get enough to enjoy sense gratification. We desire to get uh, some money, some name, fame, some facility. But their problem, those who get unlimitedly, so their problem is that they get frustration because they are unable to enjoy up to fullest extent. Uh, they have lot of facilities, lot of money, lot of opportunity for sense gratification, but the problem is that they cannot enjoy in full. So that is another frustration. So that's why, in a sense, this material existence, the complete system of this material existence has been made in a such a way that everyone undergoes perplexities in his life. But so only those who are intelligent, those who do not uh, means undergo, those who do not try to fulfill the desires for sense enjoyment, only they become happily situated. Uh, so our duty is we should stop this cycle. this series from the very first word dhyayato, because as soon as we have meditation, it must lead towards attachment. And when it comes to the second stage, that means attachment, then it becomes very difficult. Even in this stage, it is very difficult. It becomes very difficult for a person to control his mind. And what to speak of when this attachment is converted to kama, lust, and krodha. It's completely out of control. So those who are, especially those who are sadhakas, those who want to seriously advance in Krishna consciousness, they should stop at the stage of contemplation within the mind only. So how this can be done, we'll discuss tomorrow by analyzing three stages of contemplation upon objects of senses. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions, you can ask. Yes.